Hello, this is Liz from A Dose of Healthy Distraction. As I always am, coming at you from my couch. I have been trying to make a video for like 2 hours and I keep getting interrupted and I don't know how to edit. And I'm going to make a video today. Um, it's the only video of its kind I've ever made. I'm going to tell you about a thing, a product, something I have created. I am being told that I need to actually put it out there and just promote it. So I'm going to tell you about it. I want to start by saying I put out a post today, and it's a long post, one of my longer ones. Has a lot of personal information about me and my sort of journey of empowerment. And the post is called, this is how you empower yourself for personal growth. Because for me, it really was a journey, and it was something that produced this program of mine. And in some ways, I'm proud of it. In other ways, it's like scary to put it out there. This is the basis of my program and my thinking and all of my work for the last 3.5 years. I have come to understand that ADHD is not a character flaw. It is an invisible illness. Just like, bipolar disorder is an invisible illness. You can't tell by looking at someone that they have ADHD, but there's always a lot going on under the surface. And along with this idea of it being an invisible illness, having ADHD can feel very disempowering. I know this because I've lived it, and I've discussed it with my therapists, and it's just I hear it from women all the time. It's this constant thing. People feel disempowered. I think the reason ADHD is so invisible is because there's so much misunderstanding and misinformation out there, a lot of fear mongering and that kind of stuff, and disbelief that it's even a real thing. For that reason, we go into hiding, and, in general, we don't talk about mental health. We just don't. We don't talk about mental health, and we certainly don't talk about ADHD. So I wrote this post, and I created this thing. And you can read that whole background, all my information in the post. I'll try to remember to link to it in here. But this is the deal. I have this program. It's called Feel Better Fast. And I did not name it that because I knew that Dr. Amen had a book coming out. I didn't find out about his book until today. I don't know. I don't even know if his book is about the same thing. But my program is a self-study program. I can do it with people one-on-one, but I also have it as a self-paced self-study program and teachable. It's 6 parts. The first part is all about educating yourself on ADHD, which is important. A little bit of teaching, a little bit of talking, because we come up with ways for you to explain ADHD to people, because no matter what, at some point you're going to have to explain how it shows up in your life. The second part is about depression. I thought it was important to address depression because everyone deals with it. Almost everyone deals with it. Even if you don't have ADHD, you have depression. I mean, at some point in your life, I don't know anyone who won't deal with depression. We talk a lot about core beliefs about ourselves and how sometimes this set of life experiences that you have, and then maybe an ADHD diagnosis, how some of that can weave together, and it can really create some strange core beliefs about ourselves. So I explore a lot of that stuff. The third section is on shame. If you have ADHD, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Shame is the reason, right? Like shame is the reason we do so much of what we do, or shame is the reason why we don't talk about things that maybe we need to talk about. So shame is the third section of my course. The fourth section is all about anxiety. Every single ADHD woman that I talk to has an issue with anxiety. I've yet to meet one that doesn't. It might be neurochemistry. I'm not sure. I'm not a doctor, but anxiety is a huge issue. So we spend a lot of time learning about what anxiety looks like, what it means to sit and ruminate about past failures and negative thought patterns and some of that stuff that a lot of ADHDers really struggle with. And we even talk a little bit about what is called rejection-sensitive dysphoria, because that's sort of a topic right now, and something we're just learning about. The fifth section of my program is all about relationships, because if there's one thing about ADHD, it's that it will affect all of your relationships. It will. It will affect your relationship with your spouse and partner, your children, your friends, the rest of your family. And, ADHDers, sometimes we have some weird, because of our neurochemistry and our executive function issues, we have some funny attachment styles sometimes, and we don't always communicate really well what we need. And we don't always respond well when people communicate with us. So there's a whole section on boundaries, personal boundaries, and relationships. I have six sections. The last section is on creating an emotional action plan. It's actually based on the WRAP format. If you've ever heard of WRAP, Wellness Recovery Action Plan, it's a therapist-based program for maintaining mental health and wellness for people that are in recovery. And I take sort of that framework and I sit down with you and we figure out what we need to do for you to stay balanced, ways you can check in with yourself. Maybe every day, maybe once a week, maybe once a month, whatever works. And it's sort of like adding tools to your toolbox so that when you're in sort of spiral crisis mode, you have some reference point, something to go back to and look at. So anyway, I created this thing. I created it based on my own learning, based on my own therapist notes from my therapist. And I realized somewhere along the line that I had sort of developed these systems for myself, these worksheets and things. And I was like, oh, since this works, maybe I should share it with people. So now I'm sharing it. I can do it one-on-one with people. I can do it. It's set up in Teachable as a self-paced course. You can get support if you need it. Any questions, email me at healthyadhd@gmail.com. I try to be an open book about things. I am not a doctor. I am not a counselor. I'm just a person who has learned through experience and through therapy and lots of self-teaching and self-help, ways to make myself feel better and ways to keep myself balanced. And I'm ready to share it with everyone. So email me with any questions, and here's to empowerment and personal growth.